Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Molechap here, coming at you with another Age of Empires 4 commentary. And here we got a cool game ahead of us today, ladies and gentlemen, between Undone Soup 97633, which is the Smurf of Leenock, and he's going to be playing as the blue player up here in the top. He's going to be playing Chinese, and he's going to be going up against, I'm sorry, at the bottom of the map. And he's going to be going up against Demonsheep up here in the top of the map, who's going to be the red player, and he's going to be playing the Rus civilization. Very excited about this game, ladies and gentlemen. I know I casted a Leenock game previously, but, you know, I often just kind of try and find some cool high-level games to cast, and this was one that was available because, well, luckily Leenock doesn't turn his match history off, and so you're able to actually just go in and observe the games of anyone that, if you know their name, you can look them up and you can watch their matches. And so this I thought was a really cool game, though, because this is between Leenock, who is a former pro StarCraft 2 player, and a Demonsheep, who is actually a former StarCraft 2 player as well. He was competitive. He was never quite at the pro level, but he has been at the high-level competitive scene in Age of Empires 2 for a while. So Demonsheep is actually coming from the Age of Empires franchise, basically. And so we've got a high-level Age of Empires player versus a high-level StarCraft 2 player. But they both have played StarCraft 2 as well. Demonsheep is also a Taiwanese player and a streamer. And so something that's cool about this game is that both of these players actually streamed this game. So if you're interested in watching in addition or instead of or afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and link to each of their first-person view of this game in the description of this video. So if you want to, you can watch that as well, because both of them stream this game. So I'll link to their Twitch VODs so you can watch that as well and give them some love. If you want to watch some high-level players playing on Twitch, you can watch them as well. They both stream on Twitch, so that's kind of cool to see. Right now, at this point in time, Leenock is in like the top 20, and he's playing on a Smurf, which is a little bit lower rank. So he's actually playing against Demonsheep, who is lower in rank, but Demonsheep is still around 100 in the world, maybe a little over 100. So he's still, you know, definitely someone that can go toe-to-toe with even a top-level player like Leenock. And something that's really cool about this as well is that I wanted to kind of do an in-depth look at a China game from Leenock, because Leenock has actually been maining China for quite a while. Basically, since release, he's been playing mostly China. And it's interesting because China is was considered the worst civilization, the hardest civilization to win with. And he got to the top 20 with China before the patch. The patch happened a couple days ago, and the patch basically buffed a lot of stuff regarding China. And so I'm curious to see how Leenock will play it, if he'll play things differently than normal. By the way, he actually said on his stream the other day, he speaks a little bit of English, and he talks to his English viewers a little bit. And he actually said, you know, when asked why he played China, he said, because China's the hardest. And he wants to play the hardest one. So good on him. In any case, getting a little bit of harassment. Scouts do very little damage, so this isn't going to be too much of a problem for Leenock. But in fact, you can see he's just kind of ignoring it, basically. And sometimes when you see what he'll probably do is maybe when one of these gets too low, he'll switch this villager over to the lumber harvesting instead, and you know, just switch out for a different villager or something like that. But in the meantime, these villagers are happy to get just chopped over and over and over and over again, and just ignore the sword in their back multiple times, dozens of times, as they just mine some gold. And anyway, you do see Demonsheep, I don't see where his scout, there it is right now, roaming around the map trying to kill things. He is playing the Rus, which, if you didn't know, get bonus gold and bonus productivity from killing animals on the map. Includes sheep, but he's got these sheep just following around so he can bring those back to base. He's going ahead and leveling up to Age 2 by getting the Golden Gate, which is a nice way of getting a lot of extra resources, basically. And we just saw that Leenock just finished his Age 2 landmark as well. He's gone for the Imperial Academy, and this is something that I almost never see him do. When I've watched his stream a decent amount, he almost always gets the Barbican of the Sun, which is a defensive a defensive landmark. But this time he's gone for the Imperial Academy, which basically boosts your tax collection. China gets I can't click on this. I cannot click on this mill. What is going on here? Okay, there we go. Anyway, so you can see it collects taxes, and Yeah, so Demonsheep leveling up to age 2 as well. Probably going to start in on the Professional Scouts upgrade pretty soon after this is what I'm imagining. There it goes. Professional Scouts. It's an expensive upgrade, but what it does is it lets you carry the animals that you've killed around the map back to your town center. Now, Leenock might actually get that as well. If I can click on this, I cannot. Let's see. He is getting Professional Scouts as well, actually. So both players are going for Professional Scouts. They're probably both going to try and run around the map and collect the deer that have been killed and then bring them back to base. It's a very common strategy these days. It used to be just kind of a roost thing for a minute, but now it's something that a lot of civilizations do because it can be a huge boost to your economy to get the sheep back, which can allow a lot faster resource collection for food, basically. And you can see Leenock actually camping a couple scouts over here, waiting for that research to get done so he can immediately pick those up. Demonsheep's going to finish his research earlier, though, so he's going to have first pick of the deer, but it looks like they're probably going to split him about evenly in the end of it. In any case, this is the map King of the Hill, by the way. So we got the sacred site in the middle. It's a little bit, it looks like it's a little bit closer to Leenock, basically. Leenock has this kind of, well, no, I guess it's about in the middle. I was looking at the terrain, and the terrain looked a little bit more favored towards Leenock, but now that I look at it a second chance, maybe not. And only the fact that like these little ramps and chokes are a little bit shallower and smaller for Demonsheep to get up into the middle of the map. Oftentimes, this sacred site becomes the point of contention for the map because there's there's only a small portions of entry into the middle. There is, of course, ways around the side of the map as well, so you're not unassailable. It's very hard to wall off. But if you can take this one sacred site, you can win the game with just that, and so that ends up being oftentimes a point where players will put their defenses and their offenses to try and take that. So anyway, we are seeing that Professional Scouts for both players, and they're both gathering up these deer. It's going to be a little bit of a scrum to try and see who can collect the most deer as quickly as possible. And it looks like, yeah, okay, so we've got some deer over here by Leenock's base as well. There's actually a lot of deer left right now near Demonsheep's base, so he's actually might have a little bit better play at getting those deer. One of them right next to his base, so we can actually collect those up, dump them all next to his town center pretty quickly. I actually didn't see if Leenock maybe already collected the carcasses from... This is the one near his base. Is there another one somewhere, though? I'm actually not sure off the top of my head if there's supposed to be another deer encampment, but I only see the 3 on the minimap, so... in any case, yeah, so turning into a macro game, basically. Both players going for economic landmarks, and actually, look at this, Leenock going for Barbican in the Sun second, so he's actually going for the dynasty play. If you don't know, if you are playing, and we can switch over here to Leenock's view real quick. If you're playing China, they can get not just one, but they can get both of their landmarks, and they can get a dynasty, which will give them certain bonuses. So again, I mean, getting the dynasty, it's a defensive landmark, but it's also, as you can see, an economic landmark, because by getting the Song dynasty, he reduces the time it takes for him to produce villagers. So he's going to have a huge possibility for a boom in economy. You also can make villages, which are basically like super houses that will boost your population for cheaper. So it's a really good way to go. It opens you up to early harassment, but it doesn't look like Demonsheep is planning on doing any early harassment. Now, the Roosts do have access to early nights, and he is at age 2, but I'm just kind of looking around here, and let's go ahead and switch to his view here, and I don't think he has a single production facility yet. Yeah, I'm hitting F1, which is supposed to select all production, and he doesn't have any. So now he's finally putting in some archery ranges and his age 3 landmark. So he's just completely skipping the early harassment that we see out of a lot of Roost players and just going straight for a boom economy. Now, neither player is getting a second town center, so they're both just booming off of their buildings and their bonuses and off of deer, basically, which isn't too atypical, but... it's not a super boom. Neither player is being super risky by getting a second town center. But in any case, we do have Demonsheep going for the age 3 is getting the religious landmark, which is going to be able to get enable him to get out some religious units, which is, you know what you need to take the sacred site. So it looks like he might be focusing on a castle age push to try and take the sacred site, and he's probably going to ramp up his production at that point in time. As you can see, he's got double archery ranges out now as well, and you know, the Roosts have access to horse archers, so that might be what his plan is, basically, is to get age 3, pump out horse archers, which are fast mobile units that can do a lot of damage. They can do a lot of good harassment. They're excellent harassing tools because they can run in, shoot some villagers real quick, and run out again. They're not especially good against armored units, though. So if Leenock goes ahead and gets age 3 as well, and gets armor units, then it might be a problem. But right now, he's still on age 2, just going with the Tang Dynasty. So anyway, we got scouts giving chase to each other a little bit on the map. But nothing too much going on. So you can see, yeah, all the deer have been taken now on the minimap. If you can see here, there's no deer icons on the minimap because they've all the carcasses have been picked up and brought back to both their spots. I think this is some deer carcasses that all these guys are huddled over right there next to the sheep. The sheep are next. They're waiting for their turn. And so we do have, and this is really interesting. So, okay, we're starting to see the army comps maybe come into shape because what is he actually making out of these archer ranges? He is making those horse archers, okay? But Leenock has gone ahead and made spearmen, a couple, well, just one spearman so far, and the Jugnu, which are the special crossbow unit that's available as part of the Tang Dynasty. And what they are is they're basically super fast. They're weak attacks, but they have burst attacks. So you can see they do, instead of 5 or 6 damage like a normal bowman, they do 3 times 4. So against armor, they're very, very weak because they're doing multiple small attacks, and so the armor is going to absorb each hit. And but against light units, like for example scouts or cavalry horse archers, those are all light. They have no armor. They're going to take a lot of damage from them. So this is an interesting little counter that he's got. And if they try and close ranks with other cavalry, he's got just one spearman there, I guess. He might make more. Well, let's see. How many does he have? Just the one. Where is it? Just the one barracks, it looks like. Yeah. So we're starting to see their armies take shape, though. We've got a kind of an eclectic army here for Demonsheep. Sorry, for Demonsheep. I just got to combine both their names there. Demonsheep is Leenock. I'm gonna call him Leenock because that's what he's known as. But he's got a few scouts mixed in, and they're very weak, but he was making them in the early game, and he might as well keep them in his army because they are actually pretty decent hit points so for soaking up damage. He's got a couple horse archers, a couple knights in there, which he's upgraded to knight, by the way. You have to get an upgrade to actually get them to normal knights. And he's got a couple of warrior monks and a few normal archers as well. The warrior monks are going to be able to buff the rest of his troops. So adding a couple in there is a really strong play. He's already used those warrior monks to pick up one of the relics on the map to put it in there to get some extra income. And having him with his armies means he's going to get bonus damage from basically when the monks attack. They turn on a buff in an aura that gives bonus damage to allies and such. So that's a pretty strong move there. Leenock getting some horsemen, which is interesting. Horsemen, obviously very mobile, but they're not going to do very good damage. I think the horsemen might be the answer to the horse archers, basically. You can't chase down the horse archers with anything else, essentially. And oh, whose keep is this? Oh, I think this is Demonsheep's keep. Let's see here. It's hard to tell, actually, with the outline. But I think this is Demonsheep's keep he's putting down here. It's on his side of the map. He's going to try and take control of this sacred site. And Leenock has just reached Ace 3 as well. We're having a little bit of a skirmish here, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like their armies, they're just so eclectic, it's hard to tell who's going to come out on top. The Jugnu are so numerous in the background, though. He's going to pick off all of Demonsheep's light units very quickly. And he actually moves forward to specifically target down Demonsheep's archers. Very well tactically played. And the knights, though, are just taking so little damage. The warrior monks adding a buff to their damage as well. And it looks like Leenock's going to come out a little bit on top here, but actually, no, because all of his horsemen have died, and it's just the Jugnu left. And these lancers, just a very few of them, are still so powerful. Look at this. They've got 5 armor versus range. So they're basically only taking one hit per shot on those Jugnu. They're taking so little damage that they're basically not, it's not even worth attacking back. It looks like he knows that these units are doomed, and so he's trying to at least do some pick damage. Maybe pick off that knight. 48 damage is 48 attacks, but at least he's doing a burst of 3. So a few volleys, he could have taken it out theoretically, but yeah. Leenock looking like he was coming out with more units, but in the end, it was the quality of the units that mattered. And these heavy lancers taking very little damage from the opposing horsemen, taking no damage from the Jugnu, well, virtually no damage from the Jugnu, win out the day. And here's the crucial thing. He wins that fight and it wins it just enough that he can control this middle territory for a moment in order to get that keep built and get control of the sacred site. He has not actually taken that sacred site though, because his warrior monks actually died in the battle. I think they're the only, I could be wrong about this, but I think they're the only faction whose religious units can actually do damage. So they go in and actually fight. And so they died in the battle, having engaged in that fight, and he's had to make another one. But now he's got control of the sacred site, he's got tactical control and religious control of the sacred site. So he's going to be able to put out some, basically put the impetus on Leenock to deal with this situation. Leenock has age 3 as well, though. He's getting that astronomical clock tower. If you're not aware, this makes siege units with 50% bonus health. So the 300 hit point Springalds of Leenock are going to do better trades against the 200 hit point Springalds of Demonsheep. So if it comes to a Springald battle, Leenock will win, but that's a lot of knights that he's got in the middle of the field, and that's going to be hard to deal with. Leenock is going to be hard pressed to deal with that. And actually, look at this, he's only got one spearman. A little bit of harassment going on. Actually, Leenock's sending in his own lancers to do some damage to the economy. And because Demonsheep has rallied to the front lines next to that site, he's actually having a little bit of trouble responding to this. He's kind of ignoring, he sent some of his units away, some of his workers away, the rest that are on stone, he's just left there. But he's actually sending in just a kind of piecemeal army. The warrior monk coming in here doing an attack. He's got his own knight here as well. So, yeah, just a little bit of a skirmish here, but Leenock getting some damage done. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and run away now that he's been engaged upon with those units as well. So nicely done, getting some kills. Let's see if we can actually, is there a way, where is the military? There it is. So yeah, you can see actually even losses. You can't tell the difference as to how many workers were lost, but if we look at their economy right now, Demonsheep has 44 workers. Leenock has 66 workers. Holy mackerel. Actually, I didn't realize that Leenock's macro has just been really doing well, and with those additional kills onto villagers, Leenock's economy is in really, really good shape right now. He's got 50% extra hit points on his Springalds and 50% extra economy right now, so that is a huge, huge advantage. But again, you know, can he use that economic advantage to take control of this defended position with a ton of knights, with some Springalds as well? The warrior monks helping out with bonus damage in this battle. And this is what I was thinking he might need to do. Get those trebuchets out. 600 hit points. They're going to be very, very difficult. It's going to take a few volleys of these Springalds to actually kill off those trebuchets. But the main thing is he can try and get a position where he can shell this keep and lower those defenses slowly and steadily so we can go in for an assault. This is, by the way, I took note of it. I forgot to mention it. It was about 1530 when he took this site. So it's about 2530. There's no, the observer function doesn't have a way to show the victory schedule, basically, if there's a wonder or a sacred site. But, oh, he actually went in and jacked the relic right out of Leenock's territory. That's kind of interesting. So he's actually going to take that back, and he's going to have 3 relics in his landmark. That's going to be a lot of money coming in for him. So, you know, Leenock has the better villager economy, but with the sacred site producing gold and with the relics producing gold, I'm actually not sure how close that is, but I believe that Demonsheep is actually going to be close. I think that's about 20 villagers worth of economy, basically. So he's got 49 villagers, but he's got 70 villagers worth of economy, essentially. Leenock is at 72. So it's not, he's actually not as far behind as you would think, and he's going to be getting a lot of gold specifically, which is going to be good for these tier 3 units, like the Springalds that he's going to need to defend this position against the push, which will inevitably come. He's got 3 trebuchets. Oh my gosh, he's going to be able to knock that keep down so quickly with 3 trebuchets. Can he get the trebuchets in position, though? It looks like Demonsheep is trying to push down the ramp to try and take another keep position a little bit lower down, lock Leenock into his base, make it even more difficult, make there to be 2 objectives. Leenock meets his force. I don't know if he knew he was there because he had his own village. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that was Leenock's keep that he was trying to put here. The villagers are killed, though, so the keep is not going to be part of this. The trebuchet is kind of wandering past, soaking up a little bit of damage, and actually going to go after the keep. But the pitched battle here in the middle is what's going to maybe decide this game, ladies and gentlemen. The Jugnu are doing almost no damage to the knights, but the spearmen are, and he's picked off almost all the knights, and it looks like Demonsheep is going to be forced to retreat right through the silhouette of that keep. Yes, it's a blue hit point bar, so it is Leenock's actual keep. So he's going to try and put his own keep here. It actually might die. No, actually, he's got some people constructing it here. So Leenock turning the tables now, getting these 3 trebuchets in position to attack this keep. And where are the villagers that were there? They are, okay, they are there. They're repairing it from behind there. So Leenock assaulting the keep, and it looks like he's not repairing it quite quickly enough to deal with the damage that's being dealt by these trebuchets. Now, can he do a counterattack here? These knights are very strong, but Leenock has so many spearmen that it's actually going to be so hard to break through there. I think Demonsheep has to fight within range of his keep, basically. The keep can do significant damage to those spearmen. But now Leenock has the Springald advantage as well, and that might be curtains for Demonsheep, ladies and gentlemen, because, again, Leenock has the superior Springalds. He's got the superior Springald count, and the Springalds are going to be able to do so much damage to these knights. Yeah, the knights are just trying to wrap around, maybe try and do some economy damage, but they are going to die to the Springalds and Spearmen defending this position, and Leenock is going to be able to get this keep up. There's actually only two workers on it. He might have wanted to dive bomb those workers and kill them off to slow down the production of that keep, but Leenock in firm control of this middle position. As soon as he takes this keep, he'll be able to move in and neutralize the site. But again, we're looking at the 25-minute mark is the point of no return for Leenock. So if Demonsheep can mount some sort of an offensive or defensive of that middle point right now, then you know, he might be able to come back. He just needs to hold this spot for a few more minutes, basically, in order to get the win. Even if he has an inferior economy and an inferior army, he can still win the game if he holds that objective. But he's not sending enough guys in here to villagers to repair this keep, and so he's going to lose that keep, it looks like, with one more volley. And let's even do a little cinematic here. We'll reduce the speed, and we'll watch these rocks fly through the air in slow motion. Okay, come on, fire. There we go. And the rocks flying through the air. Are they going to finish off the keep? Okay, this is maybe a little bit too slow. Sorry about that. There, they're going to land. 1, 2, 3. Boom! There goes the keep. The villagers are suddenly very confused, missing their jobs, and we'll go back to full speed here, ladies and gentlemen, because now Leenock has taken control of the middle entirely. That keep was his one chance. He didn't send anything. And where are his units, actually? If we switch to Demonsheep and we select all, we actually see that he doesn't have an army. Not sure what's going on here. He's got a lot of gold in the bank. He's got a lot of stone, but he has no army. He's not producing a lot of units. He's got a few knights, and the knights are going around for a little bit of a counterattack. I like this move. It's kind of all you can do in this situation is try and go for a counter if he can disrupt Leenock's economy, and he might be able to. These knights are going to be able to do a lot of damage. Leenock immediately running his workers away, though. They're going to run into this little village and get away, and actually he might still get some kills, but this is disrupting Leenock's economy significantly. But it looks like Leenock is doing the same, moving in for some counter damage onto Demonsheep's economy, and I don't think he just has anything to deal with this. The nests of bees are in here as well now. They're going to be able to just completely annihilate the worker count, doing area of effect damage on the squishy workers. And yeah, so the sacred site has been lost with a few minutes to spare. And Leenock is now in firm control of this game. I'm not sure exactly what Demonsheep can do to get back in it. And in fact, he is going to GG. So match complete. Leenock takes the game. Just a nice solid push there in the middle. Just had the better army, basically. Spearmen versus knights. And Juke knew to take care of any other smaller stuff in the meantime. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, links in the description if you want to watch their FP views on Twitch. GG. Thanks for watching.